The notion that scientists and mainstream media are deceiving the public about climate change has become a prevalent conspiracy theory. Proponents of this idea often claim that there is a deliberate attempt to manipulate data and spread false information to serve the interests of governments, corporations, and other powerful entities. However, a closer examination of the facts reveals that this narrative is largely unfounded and misinformed. One of the primary reasons why this conspiracy theory has gained traction is a perceived disparity between the severity of climate change warnings and the lack of immediate, tangible effects on people's daily lives. Many individuals who are skeptical of climate change point to the fact that they have not personally experienced any drastic changes in their local weather patterns, and therefore they question the validity of the scientific consensus. Nevertheless, climate change is a complex global phenomenon that manifests itself through subtle, long-term trends rather than sudden, drastic events. Furthermore, the Earth's climate system is governed by a multitude of variables, including atmospheric composition, ocean currents, and volcanic eruptions, which can influence the rate and magnitude of climate change. As a result, it is unrealistic to expect that climate change will have an immediate, uniform impact on every region of the world. In fact, many of the most devastating consequences of climate change, such as rising sea levels, more frequent natural disasters, and altered ecosystems, are already being felt in vulnerable communities around the globe. Another factor contributing to the mistrust of climate science is the perceived politicization of the issue. In recent years, climate change has become a highly polarized topic, with many politicians and media outlets using it as a wedge issue to further their own ideological agendas. This has led to a situation in which the scientific consensus on climate change is often distorted or misrepresented to fit a particular narrative. However, the reality is that climate science is a rigorous, evidence-based field that relies on empirical data and peer-reviewed research, rather than political ideologies or biases. In addition, many conspiracy theorists point to supposed inconsistencies or flaws in climate models as evidence that scientists are exaggerating or fabricating the threat of climate change. However, climate models are complex, probabilistic tools that are designed to simulate the behavior of the Earth's climate system under different scenarios. While it is true that climate models are not perfect and are subject to uncertainties, this does not mean that they are inherently flawed or unreliable. In fact, the accuracy and reliability of climate models have been consistently improving over the years, thanks to advances in computational power, data quality, and scientific understanding. Ultimately, the notion that scientists and mainstream media are lying to us about climate change is a baseless conspiracy theory that has been debunked by overwhelming evidence and expert consensus. The reality is that human-induced climate change is a real, pressing issue that requires immediate attention and action. By denying or downplaying the severity of climate change, we risk undermining the efforts of scientists, policymakers, and other stakeholders who are working to mitigate its impacts and create a more sustainable future. In conclusion, the accusation that scientists and mainstream media are deceiving the public about climate change is a misleading and unfounded claim. Climate science is a rigorous, evidence-based field that relies on empirical data and peer-reviewed research, rather than political ideologies or biases. While it is true that there are uncertainties and complexities associated with climate change, these do not justify the denial or distortion of the scientific consensus. By promoting a more nuanced understanding of climate change and its implications, we can work towards a more informed, sustainable, and equitable future for all.